Dr. Joseph Martin. Welcome to the December Winter Solstice. This is an exploration and an experience of what the solstice is and can mean for you and for all of us. Now, the word Yule is from the Old English, which means wheel or cycle or return, something that's round. And of course, the solstice is the time of year and it's actually the oldest mythological and historically known experience for peoples and cultures and ancient shamanic traditions and civilizations around the year. Let's talk about what some of those are. Now, in the oldest one we know of from archaeology is 2,750 years ago, and it's in a place called Mace Howe, which is the Orkney Islands in Scotland, where they had a big ceremonial center where at midwinter the sun would come in as it came up that morning into a long channel inside a hidden, under the hill kind of a channel to light up something at the very end. And that was the beginning of the end of the death of the fall and the early winter and the beginning of something brand new, a new life, an eternal return, a new birth. This is the greatest mythological concept of all time for humanity and the universe. Everything is cycles within cycles within cycles. When you can come to understand that there are so many cycles you still need to become conscious of, not only the cycles of your life and what the years can mean for you as they roll by, and it goes so quickly, doesn't it? But the cycles of your past lives, your future lives, which you're living right now, and the cycles of our civilizations, the cycles of our solar system and our galaxy and all the universe itself. And there are universes before this, and there will be universes after this. Quite interesting to look at all of this. Now, carrying on with the ancient Druids, then, we know that in Newgrange, which is in Ireland, I have actually been in there. It wasn't exactly on the December winter solstice, but I do know, again, there's this alignment of the first dawning of the new light, December 21st, coming to open up a light channel straight into the Holy of Holies within the Newgrange ceremonial center. We also know that the Druids, they used evergreen trees, the greatest symbol for all of these as well. They put candles and fruit, lit candles and fruit on evergreen trees as a way to make a blessing, a sacrifice, if you like, an awareness to the evergreen tree, which is just standing in for the sacred creator of all that is. Evergreen meaning, of course, that there is always life even when there's death. It's green all the way through the winter, unlike the other deciduous trees. If we move over to Turtle Island here, North America, the ancient mound builders of Cahokia, which are in Ohio and Indiana, they also did the same thing. They set up these ceremonial centers, the most sacred places, whereby the first light on the winter solstice would come and brighten up and light up some deities hidden inside the inner mounds. We know that the Hopi and a lot of the Pueblo people from the southwest also had similar kinds of things that they were experiencing and set up ritually for ceremony. As well, we have the Haudenosaunee, the Mohawk, and all the other Six Nations who did the same thing, that we have what we call the Tree of Peace brought to us by Deganawida, the peacemaker, peace be upon him, who actually is an incarnation of Jesus. Jesus did incarnate into many of the First Nations indigenously around the world, and that's another story. In our Tree of Peace, the white pine tree, which of course is an evergreen tree, it's again a reflection of the fact that life goes on beyond death and into rebirth, the eternal return of the soul and the eternal return of the light, even in the midst of the deepest darkness, no matter if it's your personal darkness or the darkness of a civilization that we have to be living through. And of course we have in Japan, we have the goddess Amaterasu. She came out of her dark winter cave on the first day of the solstice in winter to shed the light, the new dawning light, to all the Japanese people. And in Greece, we have the two great twin brothers. We have Apollo or Adonis, if you like, with Dionysus, the bright one, Apollo, Adonis, and Dionysus, the dark one, as twin brothers in a way, coming to be celebrated by the ancient Greeks on December the 25th. And in Rome, Roman Empire, we have Attis being celebrated, the god who was born of a virgin. So there's some similarities there. Celebrated December 25th, and we also have Bacchus, who's the ancient god of Priapus, or fertility, the male god, if you like, of fertility. He was celebrated on December 25th by putting small little replicas of him on an evergreen tree. Well, these are just some of the conflation or the unification of perhaps the most ancient and abiding mythology of the eternal return, as we say, and it's all around December 21st, 25th, the time when the light is starting to come back alive, to be reborn, resurrected, if we like to say that as well. And of course, we can say that Jesus, although we don't really know the date of his birth, although I have 2 or 3 different kinds of birth charts for Jesus that I've looked at and done for myself from some ancient scholarship and ancient texts, we do celebrate his birthday on December 25th as a symbol, as a sign of his death, resurrection, and his eternal return, and the life of the soul everlasting. The important part for us here in the winter solstice, which we experience, so many years in a row, but we want to expand it beyond just like one day a year. We want to get that feeling in a deeper sense, move beyond our individual notion of the solstice or Christmas and all the kind of materialistic kind of nonsense that goes around with it, and just dive deeper, release the ego, release the individuality to the point of touch the eternal inside yourself in what I'm sharing with you right now. Move into that higher, greater place where you experience the divinity of all that is, both within yourself and within all cycles and all beings in the universe and cosmos. This is the key to experiencing the eternal return. When you do go into this deep place of reflection and meditation and connection and enjoyment of just the unity of the experience, you will find the essence of the actual thrilling experience of the eternal return that happens to us on the solstice. So a great time to rejoice in a way. So maybe we get back to our global situation here now. In 2013, we can see that there is an eternal return going on here, that something is definitely dying within us and within society and cultures all over the world. And it is time to experience and be exhilarated by the joy of the return of the light. We could say the return of the righteous or righteousness inside us and in all peoples, return of peace, and the return of the beauty of the link and unity with the divinity. Well, I hope that's been useful for you. Blessings on you on this day of winter solstice, December 21st. All love, blessings, Dr. Joseph Martin.